Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, we returned from our interlude, the party having successfully acquired the complete chronology of time, a magical book that allows one to commune with an outer god and learn information about the past, the goings-on of the present, and potentially a glimpse of the future. As the mob boss who parted with the book settles into retirement with their family, the party prepares for the final leg of their journey. With 6 keys in your hands and 2 in the hands of your enemies, there will soon be a cataclysmic battle to determine the fate of the Divine Doorway and its component keys. Preparing yourselves and making plans, the party has more or less agreed to using Greylog's newfound teleportation, send half the party forward to the Perusian Quaco village in Sherwood Forest, of Aben's home country, to regroup with the elves, inform your allies of what's happening, and return to the dark elf city of Ostiliant, where either through negotiation or force, you hope to acquire the location and means of piloting a dark elf monoblock vessel, a mysterious ship that supposedly allows its pilots to cruise amongst the stars. Which will be something you need, as if the stories you've heard are true and the indications of the compass are correct, the Boomerganger's base is on the moon. But, seeing as it was expected to be a routine meet-up and drop-off before a rendezvous, declaring their definitively non-platonic love for one another, Dr. Sariku and Greylog Orchin returned to the Britannian territories to spend a day with family and celebrating their newfound love before the next day regrouping with the rest of their party and working together to resolve this battle. However, all is not well. As Avaben and Asari return to their respective homes, they find inflamed and bombed out shells of what had once been sanctuary. According to a surviving elf in Quaco Village, all they can remember is that the moon blinked and the entire forest was in flames. Asari, you know nothing of what may have caused it, but you do notice that the ashes and rubble that were once your family home is perfectly sandwiched between 2 undamaged homes. This was definitely targeted. As you panic and cry for help, that is where we left you, and that is where we shall pick up anew. Sorry, you said you wish to sort through the rubble. Roll investigation.
Okay.
I will help her.
Roll
I got a
investigation.
natural 1, so okay, good. Okay, better. 19 plus. Cannot pull out my sheet for some reason. Is D&D Beyond acting weird for anybody else?
It's fine for me, but I'm not using it much.
Oh, okay. Can somebody look at my stats and tell me what my plus is?
Sure.
Alright, I'm back. What'd I miss?
Literally just the recap. We're just starting. And plus 3, sorry.
Okay, so 19 plus 3.
Okay. Asari, as you begin to sort through the rubble, you your emotions start to kind of overtake you, and given your initial nat 1, I'll say that, yeah, you're focused on looking around, calling for help, and
Yeah, I'm like, Mom!
Greylog, as Asari seems too distraught to do so, you take over and start sorting through the rubble. A few things did survive. You find that buried beneath the rubble is what appears to be an old red and white rug.
Mm-hmm.
You see a few candlesticks survived,
Of course.
as did a couple draconic statues depicting large white feathered dragons.
I will definitely grab the statues at least because they seem the most important.
Alright.
And I will get them to Asari. Like, hey, look what I found.
Do I recognize these?
Yeah, these statues decorated your home to celebrate your draconic ancestors from overseas.
I'll just hold them tight and just keep on holding them for a little while and just look at Greylog. Did they take her? I don't know. I don't understand what's going on.
Did I find a body or any bones?
Yeah, I was about to mention. You didn't find anything in the rubble that indicates a body. No melded bones, no humanoid remains. As far as you can tell, nobody was here when the house was destroyed. But as Asari notes, it is possible that she was removed, so just because she wasn't here doesn't mean she's safe. But as far as you are confident that nobody was inside when the house was destroyed, whatever destroyed it. However, two things I will add from your investigation check, especially since you're being very specific. Two additional things you notice before I turn it over to you. One, you're able to kind of discern, especially Asari, given your archaeological background, this is actually a feature you get. The two of you are able to deduce as you look around in the rubble. While the blackened wood would indicate the house was burned, that doesn't actually appear to be the case judging by the structural damage. Whatever destroyed this house, destroyed it instantly. 1 second, it was standing. The next, it was rubble. And Greylog, in your searches, you also uncover one last thing that was undamaged. Buried in the rubble of what appears to have once been a study desk, a ornate-looking spyglass made out of a kind of bronzish material laced in red.
Hey, sorry, does this look familiar to you?
I'll take a look at it.
Roll investigation, sorry.
Okay, dokie.
Investigation to...
18.
Wouldn't it be history?
Maybe there's a reason.
18 plus.
That is interesting.
Alright.
I can't see what my plus is still. Let me see.
+3, so 21.
Okay, 21. Sorry. I'm trying to get D&D Beyond to work.
No worries.
I'm gonna restart the page.
Asari, you do recognize it as not exactly a family heirloom, but just sort of a trinket that your mother kept on hand. She kind of offhandedly would tell stories that it was from. She gave different versions of the tale. Sometimes she would say it was from an old rendezvous with a sailor lover of hers. Other times she would say it was from some distant relative. You got the impression she would kind of embellish the stories just to entertain you.
Yeah.
Item purchased in the markets of Timbuktu.
Yeah, very. But as you kind of take it out of Greylog's hand and curiously survey it, you notice, looking through the larger looking glass on the other side, there is a bit of rolled up scroll inside.
I immediately take it out.
Are you willing to break the spyglass?
Does she tell me that it's there?
Yeah, I'll point it out to Greylog.
Can because of my tinker tools, can I disassemble it enough to not break it and get it out?
Roll a Tinker's Tools check. Sorry, are you willing to let him try?
Yeah.
So what would that be?
Your a d20 if you're proficient plus proficiency plus intelligence.
Okay, I'm not bad at this.
I would hope not, given that you're the party's sort of crafty guy.
Yeah, so saving throw or just
A
regular?
check. Yeah, you're not saving anything, just a check.
Dang it. Okay, 20. Dirty 20.
Greylog, taking out a few tinker tools, you carefully disassemble this ornate spyglass, and as you delicately disconnect the two halves, the parchment comes fluttering out, and Asari, you catch it and are able to easily unfold it. Are you willing to let Greylog read what's written on it as well?
Yeah.
Okay. You instantly recognize your mother's handwriting. Sorry. I only hope that you remember this spyglass well enough to look for this. I have to get out. One of your friends, big, handsome, burly fellow with an accent, told me that these people you're up against are going to come after me, and that it would be best that I leave everything behind and go with him. I trust you to keep me safe, sweetheart, but I need to make sure that they can't use me against you, and that nothing becomes of your dear old mum. So I've decided to go with him. He's taking me to his village, somewhere in the Yavik north. My gut tells me this is the right thing to do. I just hope my gut is as reliable as your brain. If you find this, know that I'm safe, whatever you may find when you find it. And I hope I can see you again when all of this is over. I don't know what it is you're doing and what it is you're up against, but I can tell it doesn't sound good. Be safe. Stay by your friend's side. Don't let anything happen to my little girl.
That's part was directed at me. Wow. Do I recognize what she meant about big burly dude with an accent?
Roll insight.
I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder. I'll just say that
I-
it's just like
I
think that might-
wonder.
Is it like one of those guys that I
But-
tried to recruit?
No, I think I know who it is.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, he's the one rolling. Let's see if he figures it out.
15.
I know who it is.
But yeah.
And Greylog, one more time.
15.
Okay. You are able to recall that Avaben did mention the first mate of the Breaker, Sasha, had mentioned living in a village in the freezing north of Yav, and that he had been taking refugees from the Boomer Gangers to live there under his protection until this all blows over. Judging by the description, big and burly, accent she can't place, it's likely him. More than likely, he came and got her between your last visit and now.
Thank God.
Yeah, sorry, it's like clutching the one
Mhm.
for herself and just like tears going down her little dragon face and just like thanks for Sasha.
I think we need to get back to the others a lot quicker than I originally planned.
She kind of sniffles and puts everything in her bags and nods. How quickly can we get there?
Let me see if I got any more of those spells left for that.
Like, it sounds like you were out.
Yeah, I recall you mentioning you were out, but let's see if you could improvise something.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. Nope, I've
Alright,
used all of them.
alright, so
Wait, no, I have one spell left,
Yeah,
ninth level.
I was actually about to
I,
mention that. You can burn a 9th level spot to get back to the party instantly.
uh, I've got one ninth level spell left that I can get back,
I
but
think
then
the
I'll need to rest.
oh sorry, nods. I think the important thing is that we're all together. If this is what's happening to me, I can't imagine what they've done to Vaben's home.
Hopefully nothing too bad. Well,
They
I
obliterated my home.
yeah.
And you know,
At least nobody was hurt.
Vaben has a lot more to lose, you know, not putting a damper on my mum, because, you know, she's awesome, but, I mean, he's got an entire forest to worry about.
True. Okay, let's go. And he will use the ninth level spot to open a final portal.
I'm still
Alright.
holding the letter.
Alright.
And this attack was in the heart of like one of the
Yeah,
major kingdoms in the world.
On a house in the capital of one of the biggest kingdoms on the planet. It was a precise surgical strike that would have 100% killed her had Sasha not gotten her out of there in advance.
Remind me, Greg, to invite him to the wedding.
Oh, definitely. And once we beat the Boomergangers, we'll turn their skulls into nice little cups for the wedding ceremony.
That's a bit drastic, but I get the sentiment.
That doesn't sound very sanitary.
Yeah, that's what she's thinking.
Greylog, tuning into the deepest recesses of your magical energy. Magic that most spellcasters don't even use in their entire lives.
Magic that some people don't even think exists anymore.
Magic that some people literally just straight up physically can't do. You create
Yeah.
a final portal on the ashen waste of the tree. Sorry, clutching the note to your chest, the two of you step through, leaving the ashen waste of the Ku estate behind. Stepping through, the two of you are immediately greeted with the only real difference being the slight more noise of chattering and the smell of burning wood rather than burnt stone. And as you adjust to your new surroundings and the portal disappears behind you, you see that
I thought
indeed...
wood elves don't use wood.
Yeah, but
It was
trees
forest.
do.
I was like forest.
Well, that's fair.
You see, while swaths of the forest did survive, especially on the outer reaches, Quaco Village and its surrounding forest have been devastated. Stumps uprooted, trees burned, and houses destroyed. In what looks like a massive wildfire swept through the area. You can see your crew that you sent ahead of you, all looking around and curiously investigating, helping search for survivors as best they can. Up ahead, deeper in the village, you can see Alfred, Avaben, you all and Ollie in conversation with another elf that you don't recognize. He appears to be injured.
Alright, I'll take Greylog's hand and just start running over to them.
Alfred and Avaben, as you converse with Avaben's old school teacher, you see Greylog and Asari are approaching. They both look haggard and concerned, and Asari is clutching a parchment to her chest. We weren't expecting them until tomorrow morning.
Holy shit, they got here too, huh?
You're kidding me.
I'll show them the letter.
Yeah, they got Asari's house. The entire place
middle
was
of-
obliterated.
In the center of Britannia.
She gives
Yeah.
a nod. We really don't stand a chance against these people. I really, really think we should use the wish spell if we can.
And here's the crazy thing though, the houses next to hers, untouched, completely fine.
It's not sure
They-
that,
It is very precise, whatever they have.
I think we should go to their base.
Yeah, I'd rather fight them up there than down here. Down here, we're like ants under a magnifying glass.
Probably it might be more literal than you might think.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I'm not worried about it right now. We have some more things we need to do first.
right?
Even if we are changing the plan.
Well, I also did have one other thought. I know, we were talking about a wish spell earlier.
Yeah.
What if instead of targeting the boomergangers with it, I thought of a way we could target what's behind the door instead. If we can make it cease to exist, even if they do open the door, there's no danger.
To be fair, that still runs into the same problem as sealing the door entirely. Whatever is behind that door was meant to be accessed at some point.
Well, if it is, whoever's supposed to access it is fucking stupid.
Well, it may not be the fault. I mean, there's.
And even then, it could
I
be
don't
someone
believe
else's
in
problem.
I don't believe in fate or anything, but I do believe in the consequences of, messing with the timeline and shit.
Hey Matthew, do wood elves believe in fate?
They believe less in fate and more in just kind of that's nature sort of mentality.
That's how it is.
Yeah,
So
basically, not necessarily any sense of destiny, just it is what it is.
Well, whatever the reason is, that is nature of it. That door was meant to be opened. If it was meant to not be opened, it wouldn't be a door. We may not be the ones to do it, and the boomergangers may not be the ones to do it. Who knows?
Hang on.
Maybe-
Why don't we just wish that there was no door?
Because then it can't be opened, and whatever reason it's needed for, it can't. Well,
Well, that could be somebody else's problem.
Well, besides that, you all pipes up. They may have been bluffing, but the boomergangers at least seem confident that if we don't give them the keys, they'll just find another way in. Sealing the door off may not stop them.
that's true too.
Yeah, which
It may
is why I
only
sa-
serve to delay them slightly.
Which is why I say we should influence what's behind the door.
But we don't even know for certain what it is. Only the Elder claims to know, and even then there's so many different versions of the story, I'm not sure what to believe anymore.
Even elves can forget things over the years.
Well, let me think.
I still think our best bet would be to use the wish to make the ship functional, which would work for either plan. Either we use it defensively or we use it offensively.
What if we bring the base to us?
Oh, you wish for their base to be down here?
Isn't it on the moon?
Yes.
How do we know the wish won't just bring the moon down on our heads?
We don't.
We would have to have some way of being very precise that we want just their base and just their base coming down.
By the sound of it, we need to be precise anyways. By the way y'all make it, this magic is
It's very
tentamental.
It's very.
According to stories I've heard from elders over the years, these wish spells can be almost as much a curse as they are a blessing.
Isn't Avaben's teacher like standing right there?
Yes.
Well, you don't
I'll
know
look
who
over.
he is.
Yeah, no. I realize that. I'll look over to him and I'll just be like, sorry to completely ignore you. Who are you?
It's quite alright. He holds out a hand in the direction he hears your voice coming from. You can tell by his eyes. Whatever went down here appears to have left its mark on him.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Do you not see?
Call me tutor.
Oh, call me
Uh,
doctor.
And unfortunately, not anymore.
Has anyone tried to heal you yet?
Yes, I've tried.
He
Which
gives a
spells,
nod.
if I might ask?
What?
I mean,
Well,
Which
which
spell?
spell did he use?
I just tried to restore his blindness, but
Like lesser restoration, greater restoration.
Are you doubting his skills, Greg?
No, I'm just trying to see if maybe there was something else that I could try if he hadn't already done it.
like I
Not
said,
doubting, just
seems
Yeah.
like it's not a blindness nor poison. All I can really say.
would you mind if I tried one thing real quick, just to see if we could help him?
I don't mind, I guess, if you can help me.
Actually, I guess I should redirect that question to you, Mr. Tutor. Do you mind if I cast a spell on you real quick?
As long as it isn't inflict wounds,
No, that's not any of my specialties.
then by all means, worst it can do is fail. And he holds out his wrist to you.
I will grab his wrist and I'll cast Greater Restoration, aiming it towards his eyes.
Yeah, do you have a spell slot?
Yeah, it is a 5th level spell.
Greylog, you pump healing magic into the man. The eyes do not change color. And he kind of gives you a sad smile.
Maybe this is something magic can't.
Magic could fix it in theory, but it's high-level healing magic that most even dedicated clerics aren't capable of. It's nothing I would expect for a man like me.
I bet
I'm at my
Lucian could.
station.
I bet Lucian could do it.
Which spell would it take, if you don't mind me asking? You seem to know.
If I understand my situation correctly, it would require the use of Regenerate.
That is quite the spell, isn't it?
Let me get some sleep. I think I might have that one, but I'll have to go through my memories and
Aren't
double
you like
check.
exhausted anyways?
That's why I said, well, let me get some sleep. Because druids can change their spells on a short rest, and long rest, I mean.
Well, I can't promise that this place is safe, but I've driven out most of the predators. It should be safe enough to sleep here, at least for a night. Just make sure you're quiet and don't light any fires.
Is there a reason?
I suppose you weren't here. Our village was warned that your enemies would be coming after us. of us left, but a stubborn few remained. And I don't know exactly how long it's been. Ever since I was blinded, I've lost track of the days and nights, but I remember the moon blinked and the forest was in flames. And as if that wasn't bad enough, these creatures, the Trophitis colony from the north, we'd been keeping their numbers in check for years, but the fire must have spooked them out of the jungle. They came charging into the village. We were so caught off guard dealing with the forest fire, we weren't prepared. I took a stinger to the eyes. I don't know what happened after that, but I've been doing what I can to keep them out in the forest. But sometimes, especially as with this much damage to the forest, the ecosystem's been disturbed. They'll sometimes make trips into the village searching for prey. Feeding on carrion mostly, but if they found live prey, I doubt they'd complain.
And what happened to what were they called? The little guys who love to play games in the forest. The violet ones.
He kind of gives a sad smile, and after the attack, I tried to go out into the woodlands to find them. I had to go much deeper than I ordinarily would, given that so much of the forest is lost. By the time I finally got deep enough to find them, it's like they didn't even recognize me. They attacked me as soon as they saw me. I barely escaped with my life.
They're scared too, then. Well, if we manage to survive all this, I'll try to help y'all regrow the forest.
He gives you a deep, grateful bow. It would be an honor. Others may see you as a blight upon this village, but not I. I may not be able to see much anymore, but that much I still can. The actions of your enemies do not fall upon your shoulders, nor do ours on ours. And he kind of tilts his head, facing his ear in the direction of Asari, where he had last heard her speak. Word reached me. Something fell in the fort to the north. There was a fire. You arrived later than the others. Was somebody... Were we not the only ones?
She sighs. They obliterated my home too, but thankfully someone got my loved ones.
My guess is they targeted each of us, taking something special from all of us. At least that's the goal. They're trying to piss us off.
I'll try to turn to Greylog. What would they take from you?
That one I don't know. The only thing that's really important to me anymore is already here. It's the party and you. So, other than that, they can't really take anything else.
My deepest condolences for your loss. The Britannians may be an enemy of the Wood Elves, but...
Well, I don't like to see myself as an enemy. You or anyone else that is elf-related.
And I, for one, would consider you an ally. You guarded us against that cannon these people brought into our territory. You guarded us against Dark Elf retribution, and though we may have been punished for siding with you, it would have been yet another regret of my people had we not done so. Come. The town hall is the safest place for us.
And I have to wonder though, if they could do all this, why were they bothering with a cannon?
Well, they can't destroy the keys or anything like that, so
That was gonna be my
Maybe,
guess.
I mean, that sort of power has to, like, come from somewhere. I mean, maybe it takes a long time for the power to generate. Maybe it all didn't happen at once.
maybe they've stored up power. Who knows how much power they have?
Yeah.
Well, actually, Ollie pipes up. I think Alfred might be onto something. I was just thinking back. When they came to us, they had that cannon that could shoot, like, however many times at once. But, Alfred, what did they use when you first fought them? Did they always have shit like that?
When we first saw them, no, they didn't. I mean, I think they were just, as far as I was aware, they were just simply common thugs.
So, they were common thugs when you first saw them. And she stops and starts, like, kind of doing little doodles in the dirt. Avaben, you can instantly see she's treating this like a hunt.
Mhm.
Then we encountered them. They had cannons and rifles. Now, who knows what it is they have, but if what you're saying, and she points to Greylog, is true, it's precise, accurate, able to destroy a single perfect building while leaving no marks on the other two.
Correct.
I think I know what it is out of character, but if everyone would have literally zero
Yeah, you, would
abilities in
have,
them.
you are probably right, but yes, he would have no comprehension of what that is. But yes, you can see where Ollie and I, the writer, are going with this. They're getting better. The
Evolving.
Boomer... Anna, you've known them the longest. They've been in Tortage for a while. Anna gives a nod. They worship technology. They say that it's the new magic. Ollie gives a slow nod and completes their little doodle in the dirt, drawing a little illustration of the moon, and then a doodle of a city built upon it. My guess, whatever's behind that door, curse, old warlord, whatever, they think it's going to help them with what they're trying to do. They're making their technology better, constantly. They're improving. That guy. You guys told us about that guy that you saw in the prison. The one who had all those things attached to him. Alfred,
Yeah,
you said he didn't look like that when you first saw him, right?
No, but it also drove him
No.
nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
I
a
think he
lab
said
rat.
it spoke to him, if I remember correctly.
It wouldn't let him die.
They're trying to constantly improve their technology. Trying to make it better. My guess is at some point they just had the same tech as all of us. You know, 2 shots is usually the best you're gonna get. 6 if you're really lucky and rich. But it's been years since they had that rotary cannon. Who knows how far they've made it now? I'm not a weapons expert, but how much further can you take a rifle? How much further can you take a cannon? What else can you make?
Well, I've heard stories of laser equipment where it's made out of energy.
Honestly, at this point, wouldn't surprise me. Might
Or
have to keep an
maybe-
eye out for that.
Or maybe it's mana, like the flintlock pistol.
I don't know. I don't think they stoop that low. They're talking about they
I mean, they just might.
worship they worship technology. They wouldn't want anything magic based to corrupt their wonderful equipment.
Hmm.
To be fair, though, if you think about it, kind of looking at the forge cast pistol, people have tried combining the two.
Yeah, that's what my line of thinking is. At
And maybe
even
that
though,
would be a logical step for technology to make.
mm-hmm,
To use everything at its disposal, including even magic.
mm-hmm.
But wouldn't that go against everything they've been talking about? They
Not
want to do
necessarily.
away with
Yeah.
magic because not everybody can use it.
Well,
While
but,
Well-
technology, anybody can do that.
but if they combined
Oh.
it, it doesn't necessarily mean anyone could use that sort of thing.
Maybe that's what they're going for. You all looks around curiously. They're trying to make magic accessible to everyone, not just
Yeah.
wizards and sorcerers.
Yeah, if everyone's special, no one's special, you know?
I mean, I'm sure if you go back far enough and show a human a gun, they'll probably think it's magic.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what the boomerangs have turned us into now. He looks around at the burnt forest. We're just mortals fighting a wizard. We have no idea how their spells work, how they can do what they do. We just have to figure it out and hope we survive.
Yeah, but even wizards have a weak spot.
And we might have a way to use the best some of the best technology from our past against them.
I wish we knew someone with knew technology. Some way to get it.
It's a long shot, but we could always ask the gods of technology. There's Hephaestus. He's one of the few that would really understand the technology that we're up against, if I had to guess.
You understand that he can't help us, right? Because
They're
give
doing
us
their little
anything.
meeting.
yeah, they're doing the meeting, and the gods helping us would go against the treaty. So I
Oh,
don't
no,
think
they
asking
can't give us anything. But they can tell us what we're up against.
I still think that's giving information, which is valuable.
Plus,
Yeah, I think we're trying to overthink things too much. We need to gather our allies and make our decision. Are we attacking or defending?
Even then, if we're going to gather allies, if we're going to gather against weapons like this, do we want to bring more people into this that can die?
As far as I could tell, we don't have a choice.
Yeah. I'm with Avaven, actually, for once.
At the end of the day, even if they kill a bunch of us in our attempt to stop them, that's probably less than how many they would kill if they achieved their goals.
I'm not sure if they give it that way, but it seems like they already have their sights on us and all the people we know. They have the means to go after them.
Well, in that case, I want to. If we're going to recruit people, we need to be fully honest with them that there's a high chance that none of us are going to make it back alive.
Understandable.
I don't want them going in there with false hope that we're definitely going to 100% win with no casualties.
Of course.
Because ultimately they need to be prepared to die.
Honestly, I'm not as worried about it. I think our odds, maybe not 100%, but I still like them. After all, they're so focused on technology, and I mean, look what they have. I'm gonna do the meme, Matthew. When it comes to magic, look what they have to do to achieve even a. How does the line go again?
Look what they have to do to mimic even a fraction of our power.
Yeah.
I mean, look what they have to do to mimic the capabilities of magic.
Well, if we're
Can't
going to
count.
recruit people, why don't we recruit a bunch of the pirates back from Tortage? They're all experienced fighters, more or less.
Well, we were going to talk to a pirate, if you remember.
Still, actually, Tuta, I had a question for you.
They look up and turn over their shoulder, seeming surprised. Oh, how can I help?
Well, I've grown a lot in my magic to the point I can do the wish spell if I think of a good wish.
Oh,
But
congratulations.
the thing is, we're worried about the ramifications of it, of course. So, I mean, I really think that we should use the wish for something in this. I really do. I just don't know how to phrase it.
Well, let's, instead of working the problem that way... Avaben, you can instantly tell he's sliding into the demeanor he took as a teacher. And instead of trying to look at it that way, trying to figure out the phrasing and working backwards, let's start with what you want to achieve. What is your goal? What are you hoping to achieve with this wish?
I think it's obvious we want to stop these boomer gangers, right?
Well,
Looking to
Absolutely.
sorry.
like it mostly
Absolutely.
means what do you want the wish to do? Ultimately, precisely.
Well, this is what I kept on saying, is I don't want the boomer gangers to be successful in their endeavor. So I was like, I think that I should say I wish that the boomer gangers cannot be successful.
But that's such a vague wish, it could
It
mean any
is.
number of things.
Here's a crazy idea. Instead of wishing for them to not be successful or anything like that, why don't you wish for them to revert back to their primitive technology from where they first started?
If I may interject, the unfortunate reality of magic is that altering things on that fundamental of a level is often going to be a losing battle. You cannot simply wish for the world to be a certain way or for it to not be so. Even if you were to, there would be consequences. Consequences that you may not be prepared to deal with. Consequences that you may not even be able to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's difficult. I don't know what exactly it is all of you have lost, and I only know a fraction of what it is you're in danger of losing, but our enemies, I think, do have one thing correct in their minds. Magic is not a toy that should be used freely. If you wish, well, pardon my pun, but if you wish to use the wish in such a way, I will not begrudge you, but I will warn you. The blowback of magic is intense. You feel it, I know, every day when you cast your spells. They drain you, they tire you. But magic that large to alter what has been or what hasn't even happened yet, the blowback would be enormous.
Okay, so what do you suggest?
Keep it simple.
Indeed, and don't rely on magic to win this battle. If
Well-
you do, you'll... What will you prove against our enemies?
True, but I think that if we were to go into a battle with them, I honestly think that they would kick our butt.
Look, if you don't believe we can do this, maybe you should just go run up north with your mother.
She'll kind of like scowl at him. That's not what I mean, and you know it.
Well
It means
then,
a straight up fight we would probably lose.
Well,
But if we're smart enough, even if they are stronger, with the right strategy, we could still win.
Indeed. A hunt is not over just because your opponent is larger. My kin specialize in hunting creatures that would break our bones and rend our flesh, making meals out of predators. Predator can become prey if you set the right traps, learn their patterns, and know where to strike.
And besides, the reason why I advocate for fixing that ship so much is if the stories are to be believed, the technology or magic or whatever it possesses makes even what they have seem
I did like the
minuscule.
suggestion. I did like the suggestion of wishing to understand the technology of the ship. I really like that idea.
Then there
It's
you
a
are.
very simple and precise thing. As long as we get the wording right, I mean, I think it should work fine.
And I think instead of wishing for one person to understand, we got to make sure that the entire party understands how to work the technology.
Understanding could be useful. It would mean we would have. It probably would be a bit more precise than just wishing it would work. I think understanding would probably be a good thing to wish for.
And if I can understand it, I might be able to fix it if it's broken. I
Well,
have
I mean,
plenty of
you're
tools.
yeah. I mean, you're the fix-it guy. If I, if either I wish that you can understand it, or I can understand it so I can explain it to you, or in something along those lines, I think it would work.
Either way, we got to get to ship first.
It sounded like
First,
uh,
First, we need to make sure we, see if we can't gather some allies, especially to help us run the ship.
it sounded like you had a thought there, Alfred.
A thought? Not sure much of a thought, but I mean, I was just thinking, all these items are capable of doing a lot of stuff. Couldn't you make an item that could just simply auto teach you this, or shorten the process of teaching? Wish for an item that would make you understand or something. I don't know. But either way,
I wish for a manual or something.
I mean,
Given who knows how long you'd have to spend reading such a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
And even then, manuals are very finicky things. Just because you have a manual to tell you how it works.
Yeah, I mean, just because I
doesn't show
have
you how to do it.
just because I know I have a radio manual doesn't mean I can fix a radio.
What's a
not really,
radio?
but not really saying a manual, more I guess you could say a magical manual that will automatically do it, but
The
Like a
actually,
school?
no, he's right. There are magic items out there. Headbands, medallions. You put them on and you just know things that you didn't know before. The knowledge is contained within them. If you wish something like that into existence, whoever has it will know how to pilot the ship, how to fix it, whatever they need to know. As long as we phrase it right.
Basically, make a new key.
but
Not a bad idea.
but as far as what our next step is, I think we should find the ship though first.
I think so too. I mean
that way we can see how big it is to see how many people we need.
Or what we need before we start selling off.
Well, we already sent word to meet with the person who brought us all together because they might have some people amongst the pirates.
Yeah, but aren't they meeting us here, so we won't have to sell off?
No, they're meeting us in Frisia.
And even then, aren't they under the guided information that we're going to try to open the door?
I think we were
That's
gonna talk
another
about
issue
that.
to deal with.
I mean, let them believe what they want to. I'm not gonna correct
Yes,
them.
but what happens when we don't open the door and they turn on us?
We have to explain to them why we're not opening the door. Give them a chance.
We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it, I think. Vaben's right. Right now we need allies.
Not just to open or not open the door, but just to stop the boomergangers in general.
Oh,
Alright. Well, what do you guys want to do?
who all are we wanting to recruit? I'm sure we could recruit some dark elves from your place.
I was going to suggest we basically try to recruit everyone who we're friendly with. At least make the offer. Cast a wide net.
We could go and visit Sasha and see who wants to join us and who wants to stay.
Well, no offense, most of the ones that left,
Yeah, those
pretty
are the ones
much
who
don't
left.
wanna
They want
fight.
out.
they want to stay safe. And we don't want to accidentally bring our loved ones back either.
Hmm.
Because they might say, oh, we want to fight, but if we tell them no, others will be like, why not let them come?
And plus,
Why,
the odds are good that the boomergangers are watching us. If we go there, we may very well just simply be leading them to everyone who's trying to escape them. It would be best if we avoid any contact with them until this is done, just to be safe. But I was intending to go to Frisia to meet with our benefactor, try to convince them of the importance of this, and maybe they can get some of their friends as well to help us. Then maybe plead our case to the elder in the capital of Sherwood.
Well,
Is that what we call it? Is that what they call it, Matthew? Or what do they call their little kingdom place?
You're muted!
The kingdom itself is called Sherwood, yes.
Okay.
Oh, is that the context? I thought it was like Shaggy.
And then we have to go into the Underdark to find the ship anyways. Maybe we could try to convince them, at least to the danger of the Bowmagangers. They might at least cause them trouble on their way after us.
well, even then, your mother was more aware towards the end of their last encounter because the Boomergangers turned on her too. So
That's what I'm saying. Even if they don't fight with us, they may at least fight them.
exactly.
Mutual enemy and all that.
But do you know when this meeting is happening?
I told the captain of the breaker to send word as soon as possible.
But if they're going by boat, it's going to take them a while to even find her. By that point, we might have already finished our fight.
Well, I'm not so about that, but I just figured if we had time, I still think we should look for the ship. See, at least have a gander where it's allegedly gonna be, or use the compass.
That's
But
not a
do
bad
we-
idea.
Do we want to risk leading them to it, though? If we go there and then leave it, they could take it over in the time we're away.
If we go anywhere, then they could easily, and we walk away, they could easily, unless we can recruit someone and then they immediately come towards us, same results.
Well, at least they won't have a super weapon.
I think they
A
already
bunch of
do.
extra... Well, then they won't have another one. If they wind up killing all the people we meet with, then that just means we're alone. Our odds are not impossible at that point, but if they take this ship, our odds are impossible.
Wait, I have an idea.
Who was that?
You all.
Yes.
You said that the first mate, Sasha, he's staying at a village where everyone who's fleeing from the boomergangers is shacking up, right? That means he probably has contacts with pretty much everyone we've met. If we get a message to him, he can have his people get messages out to their people. While they get the word out, we can get to the ship and secure it. At the very least, we'll be holding down the fort, and anyone who gets our message and agrees to come help us can come while we guard the ship. If they don't arrive in time for the battle, then, well, they wouldn't have arrived in time anyway. Nothing we could have done about that. But at least we'll have the ship secure, and we'll know that we at least have potential allies on the way. Especially if we can get a response back.
If we're sending any message, then we have to make sure it's not going to be followed.
I already thought about that. Sorry. You can grant wishes. Can you send a message through the mind?
Let me check.
Yeah, that is a thing that Wish could do. You can mimic a spell. You can mimic a low level or like a 5th or lower spell.
Double check.
It's well, either way. I think Wish is well within the range, but our message is well within the range. But
No, yeah, I'm just also curious myself.
I think it does. That one doesn't have any consequences.
Yeah, any spell of 8th level or lower.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You just can't do 9th level.
I mean, technically, yes, but Greylog, can't you cast Sending?
Sadly, that one is out of my ability.
Really hate to use my wish on a Sending spell. I mean, that just seems superfluous, doesn't it?
Then on top of that, if we use your wish spell on that, isn't it dangerous to use a wish spell more than once within a certain amount of time?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert on the wish spell, but...
I wonder if someone can do it.
What?
I don't know. Would I know like the ramifications of casting it more than once?
Roll Arcana. I'll give you advantage since it is a spell you know. And in the meantime, you all kind of looks around. Well, because here's what I'm thinking. The Boomergangers seem like they're obsessed with the idea that technology is better than magic. So if we send a message the traditional way, they can probably intercept it. But if we do it through magic, they might not have a way to track it.
Natural 20! 29!
If you cast it twice within 24 hours, it starts to physically... Like, your body is literally stretched to the point where it starts to injure you.
Well, I can't do one more than one a day, but possibly could I do it like one like a week or something like that?
Yeah, you just have to do a long rest
Yeah.
between castings.
Yeah,
So
he said
24 hours. 24 hours.
Yeah, as long as I sleep or something, I should be able to cast it more than once. But that may not be a bad idea. But I mean, the thing about sending is I only get 25 words, so I'm gonna have to be very specific.
Okay.
we are gathering. Oh, wait, no, I'm counting syllables like an idiot.
We are gathering an army. We
We
need reinforcements. Ask everyone in the village to ask their friends. Send to Ostiliant if they agree. Please.
I love little please feel.
and I can add say hi to mom. So, I will say that with my addition.
Raven just looks at you. I was like, wow, did you really count that out that quick?
This is what I do. And he gives a smile and a shrug.
Raven just gives him like a little side hug. It's like, you really are so smart.
Well, he's got to be good for something, as Ollie throws her arm around him as well.
Raven like kind of gives Ollie a playful punch. Hey now.
Tudor looks over all of you with a broad smile. I'm happy you have found peace and resolution. The town hall will be open to you if you need safety here in the village. But heed my warning, do not go too deep into the forest without guard. I wish you luck. For all of our sakes.
You should probably head to Yov. That would be the
I think
safest place.
he's intent on staying here.
Yeah, he's one of those stubborn people, as he put it.
Oh, all elves are stubborn.
I'm afraid it runs in our blood.
And it must be like in your tiny brains.
Excuse me.
I'm only kidding.
Well, we're not getting into that. What time is it at this point?
It's about getting into mid-afternoon.
Sorry, go ahead and cast that spell. Why don't we all meet back up at that main building that Tudor just mentioned? And we'll stay there for the day while we recuperate and get ready for whatever comes next while waiting on a response.
Oh, usually it's instant, but let's get me comfortable because I have a feeling this is gonna really take it out of me.
Yeah, so which way is the town hall, you said?
This way. Follow me. And Tudor turns and begins to lead you all through the ruined streets towards the central town hall.
Mm-hmm. Just
For a blind guy, he doesn't know where he's going.
Like the blind.
I mean, to be fair, he's been wandering around this village, figuring out where to go blind for weeks, dodging Triffids, and having no idea if the Boomergangers are still skulking around. He's starting to get the grip of it, especially because he's lived here most of his life to begin with.
And tell me how long that's been.
Yeah.
Alright. Before he leads you into the town hall and everyone starts getting ready for a rest, is there anything anyone wants to do other than the casting of Wish to Duplicate Sending?
No, just gonna start working on trying to get my long rest so I can work on some of my spells.
Alright. He leads you all to the town hall of Quacko Village. It's not a particularly well-off looking structure, given the circumstances. It appears to be what had once been a tree in the center of the forest before Quacko Village was even established that died and just started to decay naturally, so they just built the town hall around it. There's a little bit of a sort of hilly divot that separates it from the rest of the village. And as you're led towards it, you all kind of looks around at it with that distinct feeling of familiarity. And Avaven, you can hear him kind of mumbling to himself in Sylvan as he contemplates, because...
Who is it?
You all.
What's he saying?
Do you speak Sylvan?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yes.
He's remarking to himself about how he hates seeing his home in this state. The tree is...
Vaven Wolf. I was gonna say Vaven was gonna like follow him and kind of put an arm around him. It's like, I know. I don't like it either. And Sylvan as well.
As you're led between the hill that separated from the rest of the village, you can see what was once a massive tree, hollowed out by time and death, overgrown with fungus and ivies before those were burned away in the fire the Boomergangers left in their wake. The tree itself stands, but hollow and blackened, starched white and dark by the burning flames. You can see the carved markings in Elvish and Sylvan have been weathered away by the fire. But as Tudor leads you inside, you can see that it's a fairly sizable and comfortable structure, even if most of its dividings and supports have been ebbed away. He steps aside to allow all of you to make yourselves as comfortable as you can get.
Thank you for your hospitality, Tutor.
Always happy to help. You have done our people a service. It is only fair that we return it. There are 5 stories in total, 3 upstairs and 2 going down. Stay in whichever makes you the most comfortable. Most of the valuables I've already repurposed for preparing to reconstruct this place when everyone returns, but the space is yours.
I'm gonna look for a library.
Alright, you start to look for a library. Anything from anyone else, or are you guys just gonna start looking around?
Probably just look around for a bit.
Okay. Alfred, Vaven,
I will look for survivors from the sky.
Okay.
The sky.
Roll perception, I'll give you advantage.
Oh yeah, they were looking for survivors still. I guess I'll help with that too.
You roll investigation, Greylock, since he already has advantage.
Yeah. Perception, right?
Yeah, you have perception with because you're in the sky.
Double advantage.
Survivors. Greylog is rolling investigation because he's actually searching the
buildings.
village itself on the ground.
Double
Ooh.
advantage.
Yeah, which I need every bit, cause 15.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
Curse at -1.
Same.
Alfred riding your Periton and Greylog on foot, the two of you make your way back out into Quaco Village to search for survivors.
I just remembered we're streaming. I should probably go monitor chat.
I'm keeping an eye on it.
Every time you say Peridon, I think about like Parasol, and then I think about Zephyr like going down from the sky like fucking Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary
Yeah,
Poppins,
there
y'all.
it is. Someone's gonna yell at it.
Ironically, he could do that.
I know. That's why it's so funny to me. Sorry, apparently the gremlin is alive tonight.
As Avaben, you just settle down on the ground floor with your allies as the crew starts to file in and discuss what they've found amongst themselves. Not knowing the full context that you guys have, but definitely aware that this is bad. Tudor heads upstairs, and Asari following behind as you intend to find a library.
Yes. Because once I find the library, I will be comfortable and I'll be able to cast my spell.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Oh no!
Remember, they don't use plants.
And plus,
So
it's
that
also
begs the
been
question, where do they get paper from? Let's find out.
You can make.
I know what you're going at. There is animal skin.
I don't know if you do.
They can't even have papyrus because that's also from plants.
Yeah, I was thinking papyrus or eucalyptus.
No, papyrus is like from reeds, right?
Yeah.
But they could use animal skins.
yeah.
Oh, as he hears your heavy footfalls on the stairs behind him. Do you need something, miss?
Oh, me? No, I'm just looking for some good books.
Oh, the books are in the basement. Luckily, they survived the attack being down there. We planned ahead for this sort of thing, I suppose.
Oh,
Just don't bring any open flames. You'll scare them.
I'm sorry, what?
Scare them?
Yeah.
Well, the spiders.
Ah.
Wait,
Excuse. Wow, that's even.
excuse me?
Well,
Why
you
are
can't.
there spiders in your library?
Well, how else would we make books, miss?
Silk.
Oh, they use silk from spiders.
Oh. Wait, is this a wood elf thing?
Yes. Our people do not wish to harm the plant life around us.
You know, leaves fall off of trees naturally sometimes, right?
Yes, but then they provide nutrients to the soil, which can then nourish future plants.
We
You're
don't
not gonna
use
win that one,
any
Miss
plant material.
If I could talk to a tree, I would, but let's not go there. I just need a good, comfortable spot.
I
Well,
think
by
she
all
changed her
means.
mind about books.
It's weird. The spiders are always nice to me.
Hang on, the
Yeah, I
spiders.
think it's a dark elf thing.
Yeah, you got to remember your people worship spiders.
Yeah, and then some of my peers tried locking me down in with the spiders.
You all and Ollie kind of visibly scowl a bit.
They said
No offense,
they were like, "Go be with the spiders where you belong."
no offense to your spiders or your tragic story. I'm not going anywhere near anything that has more than 2 legs.
Very well. The space is yours if you wish, but you are welcome to our books if you change your mind.
I'm good. I don't know what else to look for. Well, a library, but
Well, if you want the spider whisperer to go down there and bring you a book, just let me know.
Spider Whisperer.
is that what they called you? Or is
Funny
that what you
enough,
called yourself?
yes. They did call me that once.
I'm not sure if you know this, but that's not a very nice name.
Yeah, I
Spider-
had a feeling they weren't
Whisperer?
exactly intending it to be a good thing.
Hey, I think it's cool.
He does that to try to cheer me up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was intentionally supposed to be nice there, Ollie. Or are you? I don't know which one you are.
Yeah, I can't. Their voices are very similar.
I mean, yeah, they come from the same region, so...
Yeah, and honestly, she hasn't really been paying much attention to either of them, so she's just like, I honestly don't know which one you are.
Good. That'll make the future easier. And she gives you a smile.
Oh, it was Ollie.
And she leans towards you, Avaben, and in Sylvan, kind of quietly says, "So, are either of you gonna tell her that the spiders are trained?"
I mean, they are trained spiders.
Hang on. What?
Oh, yes. The spiders act as the little 8-legged librarians of our little collection.
She has that expression on her face of whether or not she's not sure if she should be impressed or disgusted.
Hey, since we don't use plants, we're actually very good at domestication.
All of the elves
That
give a nod.
isn't that in itself like ruin of like the animal thing?
Not at all. All elves came from animals once. We see it as taking care of our own, and our own providing for each other.
Yeah, this is giving me a migraine. I'm just gonna go talk to spiders.
All right. Tudor gives a friendly smile as you make your way towards the basement.
I
She's
guess,
like muttering to herself, I swear.
As far as I would remember that Greylaw can talk to animals too. You know,
Oh yeah,
that would make
like,
her more
right.
comfortable.
Yeah, Greg, can you come with me so the spiders don't try to gnaw my face off?
actually, spiders don't really gnaw on you. They more like inject you with stuff and then suck out the juices, right?
I'm not too keen on
That's
being infected either.
And what were you gonna say, Greg?
that he wanted to go look for survivors first, but then he would be more willing to help her with the spiders.
All right, Asari, you're willing to wait, or are you gonna head down without him? Because he's left with Alfred to look for survivors.
I suppose I'll just sit near the fireplace with some tea. God knows I.
All right.
Calming her nerves with tea like the British person she is.
Yeah, it's her inner Brit.
Now the question
Yeah.
is, what are the teas made out of?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh yeah, they can't drink tea because that would involve plants.
Leaves.
No, I actually put a lot of thought into how they live without using any plants.
Also, they can't have wine because grapes.
They may not, but she would have some in her inventory, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would say that she carries tea with her.
Yeah, like all British people.
Yeah.
God, what do they drink? Well, they probably can only drink water. I think almost all drinks come from plants.
Actually, while yes, water is the main staple, they actually do have.
Oh, they could have
alternatives.
mead, which is made from honey, which is an animal product.
Mhm. And they can also drink sugar
Milk.
water, and they can have blood
And
Yeah.
milk.
and milk. But most-
Blood wine.
Actually, yes. Wood elves actually really do enjoy drinking blood.
The vampires. I know it. Man, and I was looking through one of my features, and I just realized I have something called Timeless Body. For every 10 years, I only age 1 year.
Basically,
That's for the really long campaigns.
yeah, basically wood elves are reverse vegans.
No, yeah, literally.
Also, that's a squeaky chair.
It's not mine. I'm standing.
It's
There it
not
is.
me.
Not
But yeah. All right.
That slow creak.
Ugh.
Alfred and Greylog, as you fly out to search the surroundings.
I'm gonna mute.
Go ahead. Alfred, from your elevated position, you don't see any survivors. However, you do see two things that catch your attention. One, Greylog, I'll give you the details on this in just a second, so don't immediately give me a response yet. But I will say for Alfred's benefit that you do see Greylog does appear to start finding people in houses, looking through windows and opening doors. So it appears there is survivors, but they're mostly in their homes, not out and about. So you're probably you judging from that and the fact that you don't see any, it doesn't appear that there's any survivors you'd be able to see from the air, but most of them do appear to be in their homes. So you're not alone here. However, the second thing you notice that your elevated position shows you that Greylog doesn't notice is, as mentioned, there's a kind of radius, just this awful perfect little circle around the village that forms this perfect little circle of burnt forest and village. By the looks of it, and your kind of rough estimate, the range of this appears to be about 30 kilometers of just devastation in all directions. But at the edge of that, so that would be about the distance it would take you to walk in a day, you can see that there are some patrolling Triphytus plants. You've never seen one in person before, but you can see them skulking at the edges of their vastly shrunken territory, patrolling around, curious and predatory. A tall, quadrupedal pitcher plant looking creature. A trio of vines reaching out from its base to slowly drag it along the ground. 8 foot tall, on average at least. Green, but with these red, colorful edges. The body is rounded and covered in leaves. If they weren't moving, you would have just taken them for plants, but you can see them at about the speed that you would be walking, just kind of dragging themselves around the edge of the forest. From what Tudor told you, it's likely they're searching for food. More than likely, the Boomergangers' attack shrunk their territory and killed so much prey that they are running low on options.
Yeah. Which will leave them very little options.
You now understand why Tudor warned you to stay quiet and not light fires. Judging from the speed, they could easily reach the village by nightfall if they suspected there was somebody there.
I'm assuming they're an exception to the plant rule.
Yeah, because they are living sentient creatures. As they mentioned earlier that the hunters like Ollie routinely go deeper into the forest just for no other reason than just call their numbers.
Basically, they might be plants, but they still kind of count as animals.
Mm. Alfred, anything with this information, or do you want to join Greylog in his rescue of survivors?
I'll keep a note of that, but I will go help Greylog.
All right. Greylog.
Yes.
As you and Alfred step out into the ravine to start searching for survivors, Alfred mounts his Periton and takes to the air and begins doing patrols of the forest, as you settle yourself for picking through the rubble and searching the homes to see if there's any survivors. It takes you some time, but as you start reaching the edges of the forest, or rather edges of the village that would have once led into the forest, you arrive at a home. You see that what appears to be a stone shelf of some kind has been moved to block the doorway, and there is bars on the window. Not blocking vision, but blocking access.
Oh,
You haven't checked this house yet, but it appears to be sealed.
instead of trying to just, force my way in, I will, not very loudly, but loud enough to be heard inside, just speak out in Nook Common. I don't know Elvish.
Mm.
Are there any survivors? If so, Tudor is in the town hall. If we want sanctuary there.
There's a pause. The ruins around you stay silent, but eventually you see a hand gloved in leather grab at one of the bars, and a pale, dark-haired face slowly peek through the bars at you. You see it's an elvish woman with blue eyes. Once she takes in your appearance, her expression doesn't relax fully, but it doesn't harden any further. And she leans a bit so that you can see her better. You know Tudor.
I personally do not. I met him earlier, but my friends know him.
So you're back then.
Yeah. We did not suspect that this would happen.
It's whatever. Here, let me move this. And she moves, and you hear the kind of grunt as she starts to shove the stone shelf out of the way of the door so that she can leave.
Oh no.
Looking at her now, you can see she's wearing leather armor, a wool scarf around her neck. And as she approaches you, her demeanor screams cautious yet equally casual. Very oxymoronic, but it's this almost lazy observation as she steps out to observe you up and down. So you're here to pick up survivors?
As many as we can find.
Alright. I'll take you to where everyone else is. Not many of us left, though.
Yeah, that's what we heard. The rest, as far as those that left, we know where they are, but as far as those who remained, we don't know how many are left.
Last I counted, there's 5 of us, maybe 6 if we miss someone.
Well, if you could lead me to them all, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, come on.
And he will follow her.
And Alfred, I'll say at this point you've concluded your survey and may fly down to join them. She kind of watches you land with a cautious expression, but kind of gives you a small nod, seeing as Greylog doesn't react negatively to your approach. So do either of you guys know what it is exactly they did? Because one minute I'm trying to enjoy a night out with my friends, the next minute the village is on fire.
As far as we are aware, they attacked from the moon with extra technology than what we have.
Excuse me?
They are highly advanced. You remember the guys that came through with the cannons? It's them. Except they've gotten stronger.
No kidding. As she looks up at the sky, almost like she's half expecting the barely visible moon to suddenly start firing missiles at you. Almost unconsciously, she starts to speed up her pace.
Yeah, can't blame her.
Eventually, she leads the two of you to what appears to have once been a barn, but has now been seemingly repurposed into a shelter. All windows and entrances are barred and shut, but as she approaches, she gives a patterned knock against the door, and after a delay...
Was that Mario music?
Yeah, I just did like the first song that came to my mind. And you hear this heave as something is moved out of the way of the door, and it's slowly opened by a massive, burly-looking wood elf. You brought friends, I see. Something like that. They're here to help us. Tutor's alive.
Blinded, but alive. But I'm going to try to restore his sight later on tomorrow.
The burly elf kind of considers you for a moment before. You're a good man. Back up, everyone. We're getting out of here.
Yeah, we're he's holed up in the town hall.
Another elf pokes his head around. You can see that he shares the misty eyes of Tudor. His hair is messy and unkempt, and he's donned in these red robes. But he gives you a firm nod as he looks to you.
Is he blinded as well, or?
Yeah, and from what Tudor said, it was most likely either he was born that way or the Triffids got him.
And if there's any others in there that are blinded, let me know, and I'll heal them as well tomorrow.
No, it's just me. When the fires broke out and the Triffids started rampaging, I tried to fight them. On your own. Yes, on my own. And he kind of rubs at his face beneath his eyes.
I've done stupider things. You survived, that's all that matters.
He kind of gives you an uncertain smile, but retreats back into the barn to gather his things as everyone packs up and prepares to leave. Once you gather the refugees, you see that indeed there are 5 of them in total. Most of them appear to have been Elvish soldiers or militia members that stayed behind to defend the village in case it was attacked whenever the overall population refused, or at least the bulk of it refused to leave. And from the looks of it, they simply stayed behind to cover the retreat of the innocent and just got trapped here. Because, you know, go in either direction and it's hungry Triffids. Not to mention, you have to spend a day trekking across burning forest with no idea if you're going to get shot from the sky again.
Yeah.
Anything the 2 of you would like to say or do before you escort them back to the town hall?
No, not really at that point.
Okay. As you start making your way back, the survivors kind of chatter to each other in Elvish. If either of you can understand it, you recognize that they're speaking about potential plans of revenge or what they intend to do once this blows over. It appears about kind of 50-50. Half of them would rather just leave this all behind and just forget about it. The other half are definitely intending to take the fight to whoever did this if they get the chance.
I wish I could understand it then.
As the group talks to one another in Elvish, unable to understand it, you simply let it become background noise, and eventually you pass through the hilly ravine and reach the town hall again. Sorry, Avaben. Crouching through the doorway, you see Greylog and Alfred return, along with a group of 5 other survivors.
It's good to see that you found more survivors.
Well, I found one and she led me to the rest.
She raises her hand.
Good job keeping them safe.
At this point, Asari, do you wish to have Greylog accompany you down into the basement to the spider library?
Yeah.
Alright. As the survivors get settled in, Alfred, knowing you, I'm assuming you're assisting them.
Yeah.
Avaben, his friends, and the crew settle in as well. Luckily, as mentioned, this building has like 3 surface floors, so... As everyone gets settled in, Asari, you convince Greylog to assist you, and make your way down the barken steps into the basement.
To know why it's okay for them to make their houses wood, but not use wood that wood.
The tree was already dead, and they just basically turned its already naturally occurring structure into a place for them to live in.
Use a dead tree to make paper. Nothing logical.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, or rather, Greylog, you get the impression Asari is picking up on it.
Also, they just built inside the tree, right? They didn't actually alter its shape at all.
Yeah, like even building is kind of a strong word. They basically just found a tree that was already kind of hollow and overgrown with fungus and shit. And we're just like, yeah, this is a cool place. Our best guy will live here.
Well, that's why it had a bunch of fun guy around.
Also, I was gonna say, whenever Greylock had brought news people in, Avaven was gonna ask. So you're everybody's that's left?
As far as we know, I haven't seen anybody else. Why?
Just making sure, being thorough.
The blinded one speaks up. If there was anybody else, we haven't been able to find them. I've searched most of this village. I've encountered Tudor once or twice, but he said he had his own business to be dealing with and didn't come with us. I saw one other survivor, but haven't seen him since. I'm assuming he didn't make it.
Also, Matthew.
Hmm.
I remember right, Wasn't Ollie's parents still around when the attack happened?
Yeah, they mentioned you all and your parents left, but Ollie's parents stayed to fight, and while they were last seen alive, it's not known if they made it out or not.
Wait, what were their names again?
Here,
Wait, did you send it to me?
I believe I did. Let me check real quick. Kano and Zelda.
Oh. I could have.
In the meantime, sorry,
So-
Greylog.
You know how I could talk to animals earlier?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
I
this.
don't have that spell right now.
What would you say the names were, Matthew?
Kano and Zelda.
That's okay, but I imagine by the time we get down there, he'd be like, ah, fuck.
I don't
The
remember.
fuck? I don't remember where you sent it. Send it to me again. I don't see it for.
Okay.
Because I'm not good at being able to pronounce things. Hearing. Kano and so. Okay, if everyone will ask, I guess on Ollie's behalf. Did you see anything of Kano or Zelda?
One of the elves just kind of, who? But the girl waves a hand at him and speaks up. Last I saw, they were covering the retreat. Haven't seen them since then.
Very well. Hopefully they're with the people who treated.
Ollie just gives a kind of firm-looking nod. Sorry, Greylog. As you descend down the Barkin steps, immediately you're besieged by cobwebs. And I believe both of you have dark vision, yes?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Alright, so sorry, you can't see a thing. All you know is that it's dark and there's cobwebs and it's really
I
humid.
Oh, you
grab
do.
for Greylog. I would just grab for Greylog.
Sorry, you have dark vision.
I do?
Yeah.
So you gotta have the cheats at hand.
It was like I could have sworn you had.
I'm pretty sure I don't. Let me see.
You do, I'm looking
Yeah,
at
I
it.
think Dragonborns have it. Like I think I'm the only one who does it. I think that's how it was.
I
Let's see,
don't
this
have dark vision
is-
either, but I
Oh.
do have blind sight.
This
It's
is
10
locks
feet.
and keys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just, I think I was backwards.
Sorry, as your eyes adjust,
Yeah.
looking around you,
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
you're able to see this entire floor, to wall to ceiling, is covered in spider webs.
She just like, she's like, my mom would have an aneurysm.
You can see that rather than books in the traditional sense, there are instead almost scrolls wrapped up in the webbing.
You know what she would say, Greylog? She would say, get out the dustbusters, Izzy. It's time to get to work.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be very nice here, though.
I understand that, but
Looking around, you can see contained in those webs, patrolling around and kind of just tending to the scrolls and webs, are 4 giant golden wolf spiders. One of
Ooh.
which, seemingly the biggest of them, you notice it's almost armored in what appears to be animal bones. And this spider perks up, and Greylog, with your blind sight, you're able to pick up. Indeed, the spider begins to crawl its way across the webbed floor towards you. And Asari, as it reaches about 10 feet away from both of you, it kind of perks its head up and gives a shrill.
I'll look over to Greylog. Well,
I don't have the spell right now for that.
I'm sorry. What? You told me you did.
No, I've been out looking for survivors. I haven't said anything.
Uh, Hello, Mr. or Mrs. Spider. I'm just looking for a quiet place to do my magic.
And they crawl to the side and wave a forelimb in what would almost be an imitation of a humanoid bowing. Although with them doing it, it looks more like a dismissive wave.
I guess I'll follow the spider. Follow the spiders? Why couldn't we follow the butterflies?
I don't know. They're kind of cute. I like them.
They are not.
Spiders. Why'd it have to be spiders?
Why did it have to be spiders?
So, sorry, are you just planning to just sit down and do your magic in peace?
Yeah. I'll just
Alright.
have Greylog just standing there for comfort.
Alright.
Greylog's just been looking around at the scrolls and other stuff. Like, God, this is interesting.
The spiders that are actually organizing the library allow you to peruse freely, and a few of them even grab at silken scrolls and hold them out to you as if curious if you want to take them.
Whenever they hold one out, I'll look at it and run through it and see what it's about. Just see if they pass me anything interesting.
For fun, roll investigation. And in the meantime, Asari, you are led by the head custodian to a small, what appears to have once been a, what's the word, geode. What appears to have once been a geode that has been hollowed out to form, you know, one of those, like, seats that's like a ball originally, but then you take, like, a little slice out of it and it turns into a seat shape? It's basically that made out of a geode and then covered in spider silk to make it comfortable to sit on.
Kinda wish they left the crystals on this one, but alright.
Crystals would be painful for your butt.
Yeah, well, crystals can be, you know, tumbled and all of that. But anyway, she takes a seat and she's gonna do her magic. The crystals is a whole can of worms that we don't have time for. Anyway.
Is it sticky webbing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just sticky. And like, this feels really, really gross, but I'm going to do this.
Sorry, you sit in the silken geode chair and ready your spell casting. In the meantime, Greylog investigation.
17.
All right.
And I can read any language, so I don't have to worry about that.
All right. As you read through them, most of them are fairly mundane. You get the occasional document about local history, a few receipts for local politics and economics. As mentioned, most of it's fairly unremarkable. But eventually you do start to get into some more interesting territory. You get into the longer-term historical accounts, talking about the history of the Wood Elves in general. That, in turn, directs you to a rabbit hole of ancient Elvish history. You've heard it mentioned before that the Elves worship this idea of their once great empire, and that someday the Elves will be united again and dominate the world, all that jazz.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But as you're kind of idly flicking through these proclamations of historic greatness, a name does catch your attention. The King of Beasts, Narusima.
Ah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah. The one that's supposedly behind the door, right?
That's what the elves believe, yes.
When I see that, he'll turn to the spiders. Do you have any more information about him? And about Narusima?
All all the spiders in the library raise the hairs on their abdomens and their legs up in defensive positions before the bone-clad custodian kind of trembles in the webbing before scuttling off. Roll animal handling.
You're a druid. You better do good. No pressure.
I'm actually pretty decent at it, so natural 20, so 30.
You see the spider crawls over near where Asari is sitting, crawls over her head and starts rifling through a few scrolls stored in the web before scuttling back to you. And from the ceiling down to the floor, holding out to you, a silken scroll covered in dust, looking as though it has not been read in a very long time.
Okay, I will take it. And I will also pass him a little thing of rations in exchange for his help.
He snags the rations out of your hand and ties them up in the webbing to save for later, but does give a happy trill. And Greylog, you take another seat near Asari, and the two of you attend to your tasks. Asari, do you wish to cast your use of the wish spell tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Asari, you tune into the magic of reality alteration. One of the most powerful forms of magic to exist. Few can do it, even fewer like you that are natural born. A wizard can learn to bend reality with time, but few are fortunate enough to be born with magic that strong. Fewer still live to ever use it. With that, Asari, you tune this great magic to access a spell that would normally be beyond your capabilities. Send a message to anyone, anywhere, and get a response in kind. As you cast Sending, what would you like to say and to whom?
I will say to Sasha, so I get 25 words. How did they phrase it? Going to recruit an army to defeat the is Boomer Gangers one word or two words?
2 words.
Okay, Boomer Gangers. Anyone who wants to help, meet us in it's pronounced Fresno.
Frisia.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know how to pronounce it. Frisia.
I believe it's Frisia.
Frisia? Is it Frisia or Frisia?
Frisia.
Okay, Frisia. I think that was the gist of it, and then I'm going to say, please say hi to my mom. And that's it.
Did you tell him to send out word to people?
Nope.
You just... You could have just said what they said.
Well, she couldn't remember.
I couldn't
Yeah.
remember everything. So.
No, I mean, like...
I know, him saying, but, I think it's probably best because I think it should be your own words.
Thank you.
Alright.
You're muted!
I was just going to say, while we don't normally do it that way in this campaign, I will say for your benefit that, I would have given you inspiration for that. But you haven't used your inspiration yet anyway, so it wouldn't have stacked anyway. So, inspiration in spirit.
Thanks.
Inspiration and spirit.
It's a thought. It counts.
Sorry. There's a moment of silence before a response comes. Very well. I will gather all who are willing to fight. No more, no less. We'll wait in the Golden City. Be safe and be well. Goodbye.
Alright, I'll tell Greylog what Sasha said.
Alright. And
That's
Greylog,
good at least.
are you just going to read through the entire scroll through the night, basically?
Not through the entire night. He's gonna try to get, he's gonna read what he can, get some
skim it.
sleep, and then read more when he wakes up.
Okay. Greylog, you begin to read through a scroll that is the Wood Elves' account.
Also, I was gonna have like a Vaven check on them before the night came.
Sure. As Asari, you cast your spell, and Greylog, you begin to read as you plop down next to her, and Asari passes on to you what she said and that the message has been received. Avaben comes down into the library.
Oh, hey. And I will tell him what, Sasha had said.
Okay. Hopefully he understood that we wanted him to send out the messages.
Oh, I'm sure it was pretty explanatory. You can't
Yeah.
exactly get recruits if you don't, send out messages.
Well, I just hope he didn't mean like just the people in the area he's.
He said that whoever wanted to fight against them, he would bring no more or no less.
Alright. I'm sure. Well,
I'm sure he.
it'll all work out no matter what happens.
I'm sure he
I'm not
knows.
worried about it.
Well,
These little spider guys are amazing. Y'all train these guys very well. I'll give the closest one that trailed little scritches.
don't touch it.
Oh, they're very fine. That night I got locked in here. They were pretty much the only company I had until Ollie showed up to get me out. They're pretty good little spiders. Is the bony one walking around?
Yeah, all of them are just tending to the various scrolls.
If it comes near, Vaven will like do the thing like people with like spiders like offer it his hand to crawl on.
It places a massive forelimb into your palm and kind of pushes it into the
I thought they were like
Yeah.
little baby
Yeah,
spiders.
I
They're
mentioned they were
giant.
wolf spiders.
Well, to be fair, giant can be a relative term.
They could 100% eat people if they wanted to.
Okay, I thought like they were giant, like by spider standards. I thought they were like
Yeah, they're giant by
brain-
people standards.
Okay, I thought they were like tarantula size.
Rule of thumb, in D&D, if you say giant animal, it means like man size.
Okay, then yeah, he'll like offer his hand like a shake.
It kind of, as it pushes your hand into the silk, kind of like starts wrapping your fingers in it.
They'll pull his hand back out.
Does it sound like it's laughing at him?
Hey,
Something like that.
I was like, I changed what he was doing. I was an honest mistake. Like, dude, like they call shit giant that isn't giant at all in like the real world. Honest mistake. I thought it was like giant by
Yeah, I get you, man. No worries. I was just clarifying.
He'll like give it a pat. Yeah, they're quite nice spiders. Especially if you bring them food.
Oh, I already gave one of them some food because they brought me this awesome scroll that I'm about to be reading. It's
yeah?
The elf history on what was it? Sarkema, or something like that. You know, the guy that's behind the door.
You've literally been reading a scroll about them, and you can't tell me their name.
Well, I haven't really read it yet.
About to.
I
I was
see.
about to read it. I was reading a whole lot of other stuff that was really interesting. Well, not really, but it was fun.
I'm guessing elves are not. Are elves like not very creative writers?
It's complicated. See, elven art is rather esoteric. I'm trying to think of a way to phrase it, but basically a good way to put it is that their poetry and art tends to be very direct and purposeful. You just get your point across as quickly as possible. For
They
creatures
don't
that
beat
live
around
for
the
so-
bush.
Yeah, for people that, or rather for creatures that live for so long, it's surprising, but they take a lot of pride in their art being able to get across an idea quickly and concisely. That actually is something that they disagree on with dwarves, who, despite not being as long-lived, like to make their poems and songs and sonnets as long as physically possible. Dwarves even making it a game of trying to sing or recite poetry as long as you can before you have to stop and breathe.
It's funny because like you'd think like the species that had literally forever would be like oh, we could take our time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because if you think about it, the longer lived species, you're more likely, if you piss one of them off, they'll hold a grudge longer. So you
Actually,
got to
no,
be
that's
very
dwarves too.
precise.
Yeah, dwarves hold grudges longer than elves do in this setting.
Dwarves literally keep legal
Yeah.
track of their grudges.
That's not in most universes.
Avaven just says, yeah, other kinds don't really understand our artistic flair very well.
Well, sadly, I haven't found the poetry yet. This has been more history of the village,
Oh,
receipts
the
on
history is even more
politics.
so. God,
Yeah,
you're reading all
really,
the stuff that you all like to read.
yeah, it's not bad. These little guys started handing me stuff, and I was just I couldn't resist reading what they wanted to show me.
Little.
Hey, he loves animals. Don't blame him.
No, I get it. My warlock that can summon giant spiders, I call them my babies. Or the girls.
Right. Let's just say I got pretty familiar with these spiders that night. I wonder if,
Yeah,
like, do the elves in this village, like, kind of have a basic understanding of what the spiders are saying?
Not really. It's more of like they just kind of intuit it. Like they just know animal body language really well.
What was the body language of that trill?
Roll animal handling.
Oh, let's see if see, Avaben's not really had. Oh, actually, Avaben is proficient in animal handling. Okay, that's going to be 13 plus 8. What is that?
That would be
21.
21. Yeah, I'm getting better at this. It's comfortable and familiar. It definitely recognizes you and is just kind of at ease.
It recognizes your scent. Oh, it was that guy.
I mean, by elven belief, these things are basically baby dark elves, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, no wonder they keep them in the basement.
Yeah. I was curious if anyone was going to pick up on that.
They keep the spiders in the basement, and Avaben
they're-
got locked
They
in.
keep
with
the dark
spiders.
elves in the basement. That's why they threw a Maven in there too.
Yeah, because spiders in elvish culture are seen as baby dark elves. Because basically they think if a spider lives long enough, it'll become smart enough to become sentient, magic itself into a humanoid form, dark elf.
So is there like an so do they have like the in-between point of like sentient animals?
Yes, that's why they use the term tireling to refer to baby animals, and the awakened to refer to elves, because the in-between is actually a spell that you can cast in the game, Awaken Animal, where the animal becomes as smart as a person, but it's still an animal physically.
Don't they also call baby elves tirelings?
Because the idea is that they were an animal not that long ago.
Fair enough.
So they're still waking up, essentially.
Yeah, I think you said that they sometimes, like, the term also sometimes continues into, like, young.
Yeah,
It's
but at
like-
that point, it's like how you refer to, like, you like how it can be your little girl even though she's like 20, you know?
Yeah. It's more meant to be endearing.
Mm-hmm. Elves don't pack bond with everything, but what they do pack bond with, it's for life. Anything else from you guys in the library?
No, I think if they've been just making sure they're good, he'll maybe give a little food to the spiders.
And I'm just going to study the scroll. Then when he's ready to sleep, he'll sleep. He'll get some nice little bit of silk together if he can, and make a nice little pillow out of it.
All right. Avaven, as you head back up, you spend the time reminiscing with your companions. Alfred, anything from you before you tuck in?
Nope.
All right.
Have they
Alfred.
been... Sorry, I thought you were done with that. I was just gonna say, like, just adding to, like, the reminiscing of Avon's just like, hey, Ollie, you remember whenever you found me in the spider basement?
Yeah, of course I do. Why?
I was just thinking about it being down there again.
Yeah, I'm glad they all made it.
Yeah, they're good spiders.
Maybe they'll be like you someday. If we're all so unlucky.
Excuse me.
I think it'd be great for Avaven to have more people like him around here. And they'll have spent their entire lives around wood elves, so... it'll normalize things a little bit, I think.
Yeah, but you know how long that takes. We'll probably be God knows where by then.
Alfred,
Do
you busy
elves
your...
actually have a theory of how long it takes for an animal to become an elf?
It varies. All elves have kind of different beliefs on the matter. Some believe that it can be done instantaneously if you intervene. Like, for instance, you could just go grab a rabbit and teach it to be a person and it would become an elf. Others believe that you just have to let nature take its course and you'll eventually find an elf and, you can just take them into your village and, hey, you're clearly a baby. Let me teach you how to be an elf. Whereas others, believe you just have to just wait it out, see what happens.
Well, like,
Wood elves tend to take that stance since,
Well,
most
how long-
animals they come across they kill, so they don't exactly have the consideration of, like, sitting and waiting for the most part. So it's just either they'll pop up or they won't.
They either stay dumb animals or they'll become elves.
Basically, learn or die.
I mean, I guess that's a very, like, survival way of thinking about it.
Now, all the elves have that reflection of the culture they used to be, hyper-military and just obsessed with dominating everything around them.
Yeah, it's like the wood elves are like, you either gonna
Survival
sink
of
or
the
swim.
fittest.
Yeah, you gonna sink or swim, or you gonna be dumb or smart? Which one?
Yeah. And here's a clue. If you're dumb, you die. That said, Alfred, you busy yourself with making sure the survivors are comfortable. Greylog, you begin to make yourself a bed of silk to read your scroll in. The spiders, when they realize what you're doing, happily assisting and stitching together a little hammock for you.
I'll pass out a few more rations for him.
The spiders are
as a thank
delighted.
you.
They just pick that stuff up and go and wrap it up. It's like they're
Sorry. Resting from your spell casting, you settle in to finally recover and process the events of the day. As night falls over Quaco Village, the bulk of you go to sleep, but Greylog, you stay up a bit to read what has been given to you. I'll say that you're able to read the first half, and then you can read the second half tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sleepy
that'd be
sleep.
good.
You begin to read the Wood Elves' account of the Beast King of Sylvestria. Long ago in the Second Age, the world was not as we know it now. For one, the world had not yet been divided. The dragons had land, but beyond that, while there were separate land masses, they were much larger and far fewer. There could be dozens or even hundreds of civilizations on a single landmass, all fighting for resources and dominance. This age was known at the time as the Bronze Age. Due to the presence of the Forgotten Age, it didn't leave anyone 100% certain how many ages had passed. What they did know is that the people of the Bronze Age were hardened and tough. War was their purpose and their passion. Most spirits of this time went unnamed. So many died in fruitless and unnecessary battle that only a tiny fraction of them could ever be remembered. King ruled his land with an iron fist. His word was law, as certain as a wizard's was. If he said that the sky was purple, the sky was fucking purple. If he said that you were going to war, you were going to war. If he said that he was going to conquer you, it was a matter of when, not if. Many anecdotes are told in the scroll you read. Tales that the Beast King was completely invulnerable. They say that his armor would change to block any shot that came at him. The finest elven archer could plant an arrow between his eyes, and his armor would simply move to block it, even if he himself hadn't seen it coming. So eventually, the elves tried to be patient and simply wait for him to die. All men die eventually, right? Wrong. No matter how long they waited, not a single gray hair ever came upon his mane. He was unstoppable, a force of nature that swept across the civilizations of the Bronze Age, conquering all in his wake and destroying those who would not submit to him. His people saw him as a god, because in that time and age, he might as well have been. What greater power is there than being able to bend all of the planet to your will? How do you get more powerful than that? By the time you finally stop reading to turn in for the night, intending to read the rest tomorrow, it leaves off on a bitter note that the elves know their destruction is coming. Either from the gods tearing the world apart as was once prophesized, or from the Beast King knocking on their door, intending to destroy everything in his path. They had time, but no one was certain exactly how much. But this invisible clock hanging over their heads was ticking, and they had to make a decision. You all get a long rest.
Man, this is a good book.
Do we need to take off rations and water?
Yes, everyone knock off rations and a day of water as you awaken and begin to gather up your supplies and selves. Greylog, I assume you want to just continue reading it while you travel, or do you want to just sit and finish it before the party goes?
He'll read it while they travel if they will let him take it with him.
Indeed, the spiders, they kind of look to see which one you have as you start to take it out of the library when you wake up, and they go over to a large cobweb near the door and make a small knock on the silk webbing. You imagine that's their version of keeping track of which books have and haven't been taken. So you're expected to return it at some point, but they will allow you to borrow it.
Good to know.
Avaben will tell the spiders, I'll make sure he returns it.
They give a little salute with their forelegs.
And then he will also, before they leave, as he promised, he will cast Regenerate on both the blind people using a 7th and 8th level spell slot to do so.
Okay. Greylog, you approach the two blinded elves, their eyes having been damaged by the venom of the Triffids that invaded from the Boomerganger's attack. And focusing, you pump healing magic into them. Eventually, you see color begin to return to their eyes. They blink and take a step back in shock as their vision returns to them. And Tudor just pulls you into a hug. The other man just seems so startled that he's not sure what to think, but he does eventually, still seeming really in shock, pat you on the shoulder with a befuddled look. My deepest debt of gratitude.
Yeah, it's the most that I could do for everything that's happened.
You have done more than even the greatest healers would do, and certainly not for nothing. You're a good man.
Thank you.
The other man, seeming to finally collect himself, gives a nod of assent. You can see his eyes are a deep kind of copper color. May the blessings of the Vanir be upon you.
Do I recognize that one?
Roll religion with advantage.
Like you said, history, right?
Yes.
So that,
sorry.
oh, religion. Oh, still same modifier, it's a -1. So, let's see. That is an 8.
The term is unfamiliar to you. It kind of strikes a vague chord, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
What'd they say?
Blessings of the Vanir be upon you.
Is that something like just from the village or wood elves in general?
Roll religion.
Either way, he'll act like he knows what they said, and just say, and you as well.
He gives you a smile.
I got a 12 on religion.
Aben, since we've established that your parents at least somewhat cared about that sort of thing, I will say that you would know that the Vanir are the faction of gods that they believe created the elves. The Vanir refers to goddesses like Freya, for instance. They are the Midgardian gods of fertility and wealth, whereas the Aesir are usually the gods of natural elements and war.
So basically, they considered war to be a natural element.
In a sense, yes. So yes, the Vanir are basically the nature gods as opposed to the war gods, and the elves believe that they created the elves.
But I think they worship both, right?
Yeah, they effectively worship both, they just focus their worship on the Vanir.
Because I remember whenever I asked, like, who was relevant to the elves, you said it was the Aesir.
Yeah, which that is also true, it's just that the Vanir are their primary focus of worship.
Fair enough. The Vanir are the gods who created us elves. Basically, I've been picking up on him, not on fully understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that.
Of course you did.
Both of the now seeing men give a smile and go with the gods, and we wish you luck on your quest. We'll stay here and take care of any other survivors that may come along. If we're lucky, we can gather up the numbers to drive the Triffids further into the forest.
And
If you don't think you can, then gather everyone you can, and maybe you should head to the nearest village.
I know I think I mentioned it last time we were here. Are the Triffids able to be reasoned with or anything?
At this, the two of them actually kind of look to each other, seeming uncertain. There are rumors, but nothing confirmed.
Well, if you could speak with them, could you not reason with them?
I don't know if anyone's ever tried. You're usually too busy trying to avoid losing eyes to their stinkers.
And none who make it deep enough into the jungle to encounter those at the center of their colony have lived to tell the tale.
Well, we're heading into the jungle anyways. Maybe we could try to talk to them on our way out.
I would advise against it.
Or maybe at least talk to some of the ones on the outer edge. Not maybe go into their nests.
If you want to put your eyes on the line to talk to them, be my guest.
Yeah, I can always repair it.
Yeah. The thing I'm still worried about is if we're heading to Frisia, our second round with you-know-who.
Yeah.
Try not to get into a staring contest with him this time.
Let me think. Oh, yeah, that guy. I think we can take him now.
No one takes Grendel. I believe he's literally indestructible, if I remember correctly.
Everything is destructible one way or another. The old Elven Empire thought they were indestructible.
And then they met someone who was actually indestructible, from what I understand.
Oh, who's that?
If I remember Is Tudor still around?
Yeah, you guys haven't left yet, so.
If I remember our history lessons correct, that's how it went, right?
Tudor's face is grim and gives a nod. The King of Beasts. The gods had to tear the world apart after his demise to ensure none like him could ever live again. Unfortunately, that meant the death of the good people as well as the bad. But we will rebuild someday.
Oh yeah, I've been reading about him. It's quite interesting.
Tudor gives a smile. It is always good to learn from the past.
Have I been, holding the pistol is like, even the people who made this couldn't stop him.
I don't think there was any who could, but those who did. Alfred, sorry, is there any business you wish to do before you start getting ready to leave?
Nothing comes to mind.
Alright.
Every time you talk, Peaches cries because I think she thinks you're Austin.
As you all gather up, and the survivors start getting ready to see you off, where are you guys going next?
Where are we going next?
I thought we were going to go meet up with everyone and devise a plan, or I was gonna go back with Anna and try to find the ship.
So are we heading to go talk to the pirate captain in theory? Because that's probably going to take a while.
I thought the plan was to find the ship now that we've gotten the message out.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But you
Yeah,
told them to go to Frisia and wait
did.
there.
I told them that we would meet them there because that's where I thought we were going.
And it's still going to take them time to get there. I can get us there instantly with my transportation magic.
Yeah, if you can do that consistently, we could always just send a few scouts to check to see if they've arrived yet periodically.
That's true. That would work pretty well. And we don't have to have round 2.
Exactly.
Round 2 of what?
Grindel.
Who?
You know, the big guy
Yeah.
that tried to kill me? And
Yeah,
then
the
tried
swamp
to
monster.
eat me?
Hang on. Oh god.
Dog. In the meantime,
Dog.
But, if we're going to go see if we can't find the ship, though, that's Dark Elf territory. I can get us there as well. That way we don't have to do the whole long walk through the forest.
if you can do it enough times,
Well, how many of us are there that's going? There's
The
Well,
party.
6 of us?
do you want the crew to take the long way, or do you want to warp us there again?
Yeah, you brought the whole crew too.
We always leave the crew here for the time being to help keep the survivors safe.
Alright. Just come and pick us up whenever you're ready then.
Well, I figured you might want to come with us, you know, Dark Elf territory, get to see something new. But that's up to you.
They kind of bite their lips, seeming like they are genuinely considering it. They're just kind of uncertain.
Don't worry, as long as you're not a man, you're fine.
Yeah, to be honest, even though you're another species, you'll probably be better off than I am.
She gives a kind of nervous smile.
14.
Alright. She considers briefly before... Alright, if it's no trouble, yeah, I'll come with you. Blue Moon, do you mind if I have the compass? The assassin silently holds out the small object and deposits it into her leafy hand. Thanks, love. Alright. Get me down into those tunnels, and I can figure out where we're going from there.
So with Anna, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 6 of us.
Yeah, so you can teleport one more person if you wish.
I don't think we have any more people that we need to take with us.
Is Ollie and you all going with the Vaben, or are they staying in the village?
They're considering themselves part of the crew, so yeah, they're basically going to stay and make sure that, since they at least have a basic idea of how to defend themselves, they'll stay here and make sure the survivors don't get ambushed by Triffids while you guys basically find and secure the ship, and then you'll bring them all down there once you've, made sure the ship is even a thing that you can go after. For all you guys know, this
bring
thing
a
doesn't
ship
even
to
exist.
them.
Yeah, whichever happens first.
If it doesn't exist, then we're fucked.
We could always use a wish spell to make it exist.
Create a method of going there. Yeah, I guess if Ava will, I guess before the party leaves, he'll look to you and be like, "You're not going to be upset that I'm gonna be going somewhere else for a bit."
You'll be alright. As long as you come back for me.
I promise I will. Besides, I don't think you'd want to go back down there anyways. You had a pretty bad impression of it, from what I saw.
I like to think I left an impression of my own.
Getting locked in a cell, trapped over a pit with a giant vicious spider in it.
Oh, don't forget the rotting fruit that they gave you.
And the fact that that after getting free, one of the first things I did was punch a guard.
Yes, that's true.
When they punched the guard, how like, do I remember how their hand looked? Like, did they break a finger or something trying to punch the guard?
By your recollection, it was just kind of neutral. Like they clearly weren't a good fighter, but I mean, yeah, they did something and didn't hurt themselves too badly in the process. That's more than you can say for some.
Yeah, fair.
Just be careful. If this is how bad things are up here, I'm not looking forward to seeing how bad they are down there.
I was also going to say, if they come back, because you're all here, you should immediately try to catch up to us.
We will, I promise.
Don't try to fight them here. Not out in the open in Triffid country.
They give a smile. Of course.
That goes for all of you. Gesturing to the entire crew that are, like, around.
Mm-hmm.
Basically trying to get the idea, like, I mean the entire crew. Don't try to fight them here.
Not to worry, old bean. I'll make sure we sound a technical retreat. We'll be down there before there's 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Yeah, what's that saying? Live to fight another day.
Normally I think of them as cowards' words, but as long as you don't tell anyone. And he does a little playful shushing motion.
I thought that was practically pirate philosophy.
Run, retreat, and shoot again.
He gives a bit of a smirk. I'm a pirate second, old boy. I'm an adventurer first. In that case, is there any final business you wish to conduct in the village?
You know, I might, let me see what spell it is. I'm gonna put a little barrier around the, town hall.
Oh, what spell is this?
I know I've got it prepared. I'm just looking where it's at in my. It is plant growth.
Okay.
I can make it up to about 100 feet radius.
Okay.
Was he going to try to restore the tree?
He's basically like growing.
I'm putting.
Growing a plant barrier around the townhouse so that they have a bit more defense.
Yeah, anything that goes through will be slower.
And do you want to do the lengthier cast or just the immediate cast?
I'll do the lengthier cast. I don't have to burn a spell.
Well, it's not to avoid making it a spell slot. It's if you cast the spell for 8 hours, you can actually re-enrich the land.
Oh, I don't have 8 hours to do that with right now.
Okay, so you'll do the regular one then.
Correct.
All right.
He'll re-enrich the land later.
Yeah, that's a long-term thing. All right. Greylog, as the party gathers their things and begins making their way out into the woods, you stop and tuning into your connection with the nature spirits. From the burnt soil, plant life begins to emerge. Life almost being, at least on a basic level, restored to the tree, as ivies and fungi begin to sprout from the ground, forming a thick shield of plant life around the tree. This won't save them from another strike from the boomergangers, but it'll at least save them from the more mundane threats that the boomergangers opened them up to.
Which is what he was aiming for.
Yeah.
Triffids. The attack of the Triffids.
The day of the Triffids, you could say.
Oh wait, is it the day of the Triffids?
Yeah.
I thought it was attack of the Triffids.
No, yeah, it's day of the Triffids. With that, Greylog, from the sounds of it, you intend to teleport the party into the Underdark. How do you wish to do so?
Not into the Underdark, but to the gate leading to the Underdark. And he will use transport via plants.
Okay.
They're like four-legged plant creatures.
Casting transport via plant, you create a portal in one of the burnt-out tree husks, and one by one, the party steps through. Finding yourselves on the other side, you see that sadly, this part of the forest wasn't spared either. However, you are at the edge of the affected area. You can see much closer now are trees that are still lush and grown and having survived. This land will recover someday. It's just a dark reminder of what you're up against. Looking ahead, the doorway is sealed and does not appear to have been tampered with or damaged in any way.
And I should still remember the
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna be mean and make you
opening
guys do the puzzle
phrase.
again.
Because we did guess it right last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna be that mean. Greylog approaching the doorway. You speak the phrase aloud. It gives you a moment now that you've seen the Underdark and what it's like and the relationship between the factions. Irony in the fact that the secret to opening this door is implying some sort of unity between the Wood Elves and the Dark Elves, even though they hate each other.
Unity in the fact that they can't live without each other, even though they hate it. Neither can live while the other survives.
As the door opens, you all look to each other, ready yourselves, and start making your way into the Underdark. Avaben taking the lead to lead the party through the tunnels, down to the Dark Elf city of Osteliant. Somewhere nearby, if Anna's compass is on track, is a hopefully functional, or at least restorable, monoblock vessel that will allow you either a great asset in the battle against the boomergangers, or potentially the ability to ambush them on their home turf. Either could be useful. As you're all led down into the darkness by Avaben, you get one last look at the sun behind you before the enchanted door begins to automatically shut and seal you all back in a place you've already revisited once, Avaben, and you were really hoping not to have to do it again this soon. Welcome back
Forever.
to the Underdark.
Yeah, welcome home.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. The party is now nearing the city of Osteliant, having managed to corral a few survivors and discover what happened. Greylog works on learning more about what the elves claim is the true enemy you're up against. The boomergangers appear to have great technology, or potentially magitech, that is making them able to strike in even the heart of the most powerful kingdoms on the planet, surgically, precisely, and cruelly. No magic can defend you against them. They must be stopped. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer, working on learning the spells of another filthy necromancer. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you have to get your podcasts from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions on YouTube if you want to catch up on everything you've missed. And check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links for other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon, that link to be posted in chat, on Ko-fi at kofi.com/oddtornadoproductions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/tornadoodd. The TNO are capitalized if you want to catch up on what you've missed, as well as get immediate updates whenever we go live. If you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they can just stop stabbing each other in the back long enough.
And you mean black ink and blue blood?
I did the wrong one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Son of a goddamn bitch. Of black ink and blue blood. The premise is still the same, though. Tune in tomorrow if you want to catch that. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.